Hello and welcome back to How to Connect with Humans. This is Series 3, Episode 5. Hello, Wayne.
Hello, how
are you?
I'm good.
Oh, we're going to talk about love, 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 love in all situations, in all possibilities, in absolutely the whole meaning of love. And the man bringing the love with his incredible heart is Derrick Mason. And so we're so happy to have him here.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's somebody that we learn to love and be part of our family in a very short period of time. Not long ago, we have been really, really moved by Derrick's sharings. And so this episode is called Derrick Mason, A Story of Love. And it's somebody that when he talks about love, there's another dimension of love I personally never seen before. So I know we're in for a treat. Derrick, we absolutely adore you. Hello, how are you?
Hello, Carolina. I'm good. I'm Wayne. Hello, everybody. Just like to say thank you for inviting me to come and speak on this platform and just share what I know or to share what I've seen. And when you asked me what should we call it, I was a bit confused and I just thought, you know, what do I know? I just know that I know love. So I just said, yeah, make it about love. Because anything I talk about, really, it's going to have love at the heart of it, no matter what it is, really. So it gives me a broad thing to work, broad scale to work from. But yeah, well, we're going to talk about love. We're going to talk about how I've seen love and how it's shown up for me. Or in some cases, lack of showing up for me, making me think that it wasn't there. And what's that led me on to see now? Because let me just give you a brief rundown of my story or myself. I'm Derrick Mason, as I said before. And where I got this understanding was in prison, and I used to live on that other side of the tracks before, but I want to go back a bit before that to my childhood, how I even got into crime, and how at a point I come to thinking that sort of lifestyle was all right with an acceptance. But yeah, I was raised by a single parent, by my mum in the 70s. I was born in the 70s, so obviously she struggled, and she was a strict Caribbean parent, and she short patience, or children should be seen or not heard, was her policy. So I saw it. I saw that as not being loved by my mum, and the way she would be strict with me and hit me or slap me or just treat me certain ways. I always thought that she didn't have no love for me. And I even told myself one time that I look like my dad and my dad's not been in my life. So I told myself she must have loved my dad. That's why I look like my dad. That's why she doesn't like me. So then she doesn't love me because I look like my dad. And built up all this thinking to a point where as a 9-year-old child, I didn't even want to live. I thought my life was so bad that I made a little pathetic attempt on my life, which I say pathetic, but at the time it was serious to me. And it was through paracetamols. I knew that paracetamols, it says on the box, don't take more than whatever, or it could be deadly. So I just thought, right, I'll pop the whole tin. So I done that, went to sleep, woke up, nothing happened, was happy nothing happened, but still, that was just my state of mind at the time. And it was just because I put it down to my mum. My mum, I saw few of my friends, their parents had shops. And I used to hate my mum. Why didn't you get a shop when I was little? So now I could have a shop. Why are we always struggling? Why haven't we got any money? Why? And sort of blame it on her. And I was never allowed out as a child. I only got let out into the big bad world when I was like 16, 17. So being released all at once, because when my mum took off the shackles, she just let them go. One day I had to be in my house at 7 o'clock. The next day it was, you can stay out all night. So I just hit the streets, and I quickly learned that the way that I was in my house wasn't really going to be to survive on the streets. So I sort of got involved with things just to peer pressure and to be like the rest. But I knew that the mentality that I had wasn't going to cut the grade in there. So I quickly learned to switch from being the person that I knew I was, or that now I can remember that I was, into being this person, this image that I had to build up. And that is the image that I've lived up to up until 3 years ago when I got this understanding. And it's only when I got the understanding, then I stripped back that image. And it was years and years and years of thinking and layering. And if I can take it back to the point where I got my insight when I was inside, because I had blamed my mum, the reason that I had no experience when I was on the streets was because of my mum. The reason that I was awkward in social situations was because of my mum. The reason why I didn't go to college and I didn't come was because everything was because of my mum. Absolutely everything. So then anything that went wrong for me, it was not at the forefront, but it was at the back that, yeah, it's my mum's fault. Everything was just my mum's fault. And I've got to go back to my mum's funeral. So my mum had cancer in 2015. And like I said, I didn't really get on with my mum. I just went to see her every few months and we had a really strange relationship. But in 2015, she got diagnosed with cancer. And in September, she was given 3 months to live. And because I'm the eldest son, and I was doing my things. And to tell the truth, I had a falling out with the people who I used to do my things with. And I don't know, I can't say the next day or 2 days later, but in that same time period is when she was diagnosed. So I stopped doing everything that I was doing and just nursed her not 24 hours, but I would go there in the morning. I live in North London, she lives in South London. So it'd be like an hour and 10 minutes drive to her, give her tablets, make her some breakfast, stay with her all day, come back home. And when you hear that sort of news, for me, everything that I had for her, I thought had dropped. And it was just pure love. And it was the most beautiful time I'd ever spent with my mum. And I thought I was in the best place I could be. I thought I was in the right place. Like I said, I thought everything had dropped away and I was just in that pure space of love. So then she passed away on Christmas Day. And then we buried her early February. And then because that was, not even because that was over, the people I had the falling out with, they had come back round again. So we were back on good terms. And when I buried her, I went to do something and I got arrested. But what tell you something as well, story at the funeral, there was some boy there and he got up and he started saying some beautiful things about my mum. Yeah, she's always there for him. Whenever he needed advice, whenever he needed this, he had problems with this, and she was always there for him. And I thought, wow, I didn't know that woman. But I wasn't resentful. I didn't think like, oh, she wasn't like that to me. I just thought, oh, I didn't know that woman. Wow, she had that in her. And was, okay, kept it moving. So after all my time of going to prison and doing all this and doing all that, I started to engage with Beyond Recovery, not looking for anything more than just my DCAT, just to get to open facilities from a closed prison where you can probably come home and see your family. So I've engaged with Beyond Recovery, not getting it at first, trying to intellectualize it. Then somebody said, don't intellectualize it, just let it wash over you and let the information sink in. So that happened. I just thought, all right, that's a bit weird. I've never done that before. Because I like to put everything, a label on everything, stick it in a box, and then I know where you are, I know what you are, I know how to deal with you. But I thought, no, I'll let it wash over me. So done that. Well, I say done that, but it's not something you do straight away and it happens. But I just thought, all right, I'll give that a try. A couple of days later, I was in my cell, and an insight come to me about my mum that maybe she's not to blame for everything. Maybe the way that I'm looking at life is not through the eyes where it was all her fault. And I sat up and I didn't even really understand the insight. I just saw that little gap that said maybe it wasn't her fault. And when I saw that, I sat up, and then as quick as I had seen that, and I said, you know what, it's not my mum's fault. What I noticed, what I'd done was, the first thing I'd done with that was, if that's true, then what else in my life is that happening with? And that's when I started to focus on my girlfriend or my partner. And I didn't really focus on what I'd really seen with my mum. All I'd seen was there's a possibility that it wasn't all her fault. So when Wayne and Caroline asked me to do this talk, and I was thinking about it, I was pondering on what to talk about, I really looked at that situation and I saw that it's what I saw there in the feelings that I had for my mum when I was little. That had been like the blueprint of which I had lived my life. Everything had been through that prism, even to how I had dealt with girls. I've only had like 3 girlfriends in my life. I was a bit of a playboy. First girl that told me that she loved me was the first girl that I could actually relax with and sit down with and be myself with. Even though I didn't know this, I just thought I can spend time with her. So I was just spending more time with her. She told me she loved me. First thing I thought was, you know what? She's after my money. She's after this. She's lying. And I had to think, and I said, you know what? I didn't even have any love for myself, much less. So she can't love me. If I don't love myself, how can she love me? And I just thought, all right, then that's just the way I'd view life, because I got a bit lost sidetracked. But yeah, I haven't really had many girlfriends, and the way that I had dealt with them was all through that prism of through my mum's eyes, and everything that I had done, the anxiety, me being awkward in social situations. If I'm talking one-on-one with somebody, I'm okay. More than 3 people come in that room, I'm gonna get a sweat on, because I don't know what they think of me. Who are they? What am I gonna say? Are they judging me? It just goes, my head just explodes. But that was all my mum's fault, because she never sit me down and socially educate me. Now, which mum does? Who does that? But that was my idea of what I wanted. So then she's to blame. So just getting a glimpse of that not being true, and everything, absolutely everything that I had seen in my life had been viewed through that wrongful and this innocently done fault. When I saw my own children, how I've brought them up and how I feel for them, and the mirror image I can see on how my mum brought me up, she only had pure love for me. So when she was strict with me, she just wanted me to walk the straight line and not take a left turn like what I'd done. When she was telling me I had to go to bed at 7:30 every day, and I'm going to school the next day, and all my friends are talking about a TV show that was on at 9 o'clock, and I'm having to stand there saying, yeah, I saw that, yeah, that was funny, weren't it? And I'm standing there hating this woman because she never let me up. She only wants me to get a good night's sleep so I can get up and get a good education, be ready for the day. But I'm not seeing it like that. So for me to move on and be a big 37, 38-year-old man, 47, 48, I keep on shaving 10 years off, sorry about that. Yeah, a big 47-year-old man, done mistake, innocently done. A big 47-year-old man still living the life through the glasses of a 13, 12-year-old. And I had to let that go. And when I saw that, I said, how could I live? There's so many things. Because when we're young, when I was young, I think we're impressionable. So when I had the idea about my mum, that stuck solid as concrete, as cement. And I weren't prepared to revisit that, break that down. Maybe that weren't true, because it's always easier just to say, oh, it's her fault, it's her fault, it's her fault, it's her fault. So what I realized when I had this insight, and when I revisited it, when I was with my mum and she was passing away and we had that beautiful time together, I didn't realize in the corner was a little caveat. It was, I love my mum, I love her to bits endlessly, but she's still done that to me. I love my mum, yeah, but we're not watching what she done to me. But yeah, that just happened, and let's just leave it there, that happened. But I still love her to bits, love her endlessly. And then I'm still holding that little bit in the corner. I'm not even holding it, it's just there. But what I realized is that what's there in the corner is just thought again. That doesn't need to be there. My mum loved me 100% pure when I was a little baby, and my mum looked at me and had that love in her eyes, She had that same feeling for me when she heard I was doing wrong things, and I made police kick off her door how many times, and she kicked me out how many times. That same love was in her eyes all of that time. And this brought me on to something that somebody else shared something about when their one of their parents passed away. And they said to them that they apologized. And they didn't know, at the time, they didn't know what they was apologizing for. And it was at the same, I saw a little resemblance in it, because when my mum was passing and she got really, but when she was getting really bad, I must have apologized to her. And in a way, I didn't know what I was apologizing for, but I just knew that I had to apologize. But then I realized I was apologizing because it's like I broke the contract. I thought that she had stopped loving me. I thought she didn't love me, which is why I made an effort to stop loving her. I made an effort to tell myself I don't love this woman. I used to tell people I don't love my mum, you know. Yeah, but just because she's my mum, I know that I have to love her. That's how I love her, but I don't really love her. I used to tell people this. So when I was apologizing, I know I'm apologizing for breaking the contract, but she never broke that contract. She never stopped loving me, not for a second, not for a second. But I don't have no regrets over that either, because all of that has brought me to this point here today, has brought me here now. And when I see things like that and I speak about love, I know that when I was getting beaten by my mum and I was looking at her face and her face was stern and I thought she was being wicked, I know that was love. I know that was love. And that, for me to see that as love, and my mum helped me to shape me to be who I am here today now. I'm eternally grateful for that, and I'll eternally love her endlessly. And I know that love that same love that I have for my mum can be spread for anybody. I've met, I just look on the screen now, I see Pete Mears. I've known him, I haven't even met the guy in person. He's been on a Zoom call, beautiful fella. But the love and the connection I feel for this guy is just unreal. I really have to say, the Fab Five, sometimes when I WhatsApp call and the love that I feel, I have to say to myself, am I not funny, but I'm not meant to feel this kind of love for a guy. What's going on? But because it's so pure, it's just, and all of that has been enabled from my mum, everything. Maybe if my mum was straight-laced and she sent me to school and I wasn't bad and she never tested me to that limit, then I wouldn't be here today. Because I wouldn't know the depths of love that I've been, and people would call it hell. I would say, no, it's how you're looking at the situation, it's how you're looking at it. That situation could be heaven. But yeah, yeah, for me, that has shown up for me in a way where that just splits over onto the life of my partner, my long-suffering mother of my children, where through the eyes of hell, really I'm looking at heaven. And because of my set ways from how I was younger, that is just imprinted, and to unbecome that person is simple, it's easy, it's only one thought. Because I don't think like that at all now. The way I used to think, I just don't think like that at all. And sometimes it's amazing to think back and see how I used to think like that. I know how I used to think like that because I can see how that road makes sense. But if I was totally displaced from that situation, I'll be thinking, how the hell could you? You just look unreal. But to go back to her now, I just know that with my 3 children, all 3 of my children, I went to prison. I went to prison for them. My first daughter, I was in prison when she was born. I still haven't told her that. My second daughter, I went to prison when she was 3 months old. And my third son, my last child, my son, I went to prison when he was 4 months old, and she was still with me. And all the anger and all the cussing and all the things she's going through, that is just love. That is just pure love. Pure love. Blinded love, you might even say. And certain times unreciprocated for 16 years, unreciprocated, but yet still there. Yeah, you got just for me, I just follow my love and follow my feelings, because if they would have told me when I went into the room, you're not going to get your DCAT, but you're going to discover some deeper depths, some knowledge about yourself, and at the heart of it is going to be love, and you're going to be talking about love endlessly in 3 years' time, I would have said, you know what, thanks, I'll take the coffee, but I'll just go back to myself, and I might take one of them books what you're offering, but that's about me. Yeah, because all this love stuff, I'm not about that. I'm a tough guy. Yeah, I've got an image what I've taken me, not 37, 47 years to cultivate and top up and preserve and polish. And you're telling me I just got to throw that away? No. For what? Love? No. Love is the thing I do intellectually. I don't resist, that doesn't go any deeper than skin deep. But yeah, love just runs through us all in such a deep, like, it just connects what connects us. Any connection is through love. And whether it be a man, a fish, a dog, a cat, is love is love. Yeah, connection is love. So, yeah, you want to, I don't know how you want to ask a question, or you want to say something, Carolina?
Yeah,
I think that's a brief.
So beautiful. You have us here.
Yeah. I think for me, it's just brought up the same kind of thing. I mean, me and my mum didn't have the greatest relationship, and we still don't. But even just hearing you talk, it's just like, yeah, it wasn't all her. You know, she was doing things that she's done out of love. And yeah, it's just amazing to just kind of see that.
What I find incredible is I want, Mama J is here, and Anna Cat is here. Hello. So when we say Mama J, we're talking about Jacqueline Hollows, and Jacqueline Hollows was the person that just one day decided, I want to go into prison, so I want to talk about this understanding that we all heard about through Sydney Banks, about the 3 principles, and just thought this will change people's lives. She was so sure, and she did, and she did with the group of Beyond Recovery. And so I'm looking at you, Derrick, and there was a moment you said, like, but it's just thought, and now it's like talking about, yeah, it's just bread. It's just, it's like completely normal for you to understand that connection is love, and I don't have to pay attention to that because that's just a thought. And I wonder, at what point, so the Derrick that didn't know about this suddenly heard this, and I'm curious to know, because how was for you that bit of transition, or that moment when suddenly you heard something, that was like, no, I'm not gonna just come in. I'm not just coming here for the coffee.
Are you talking about when at the beginning, or what dropped the love bomb? What made me realize that it was?
Like, I imagine you saw life in a certain way, and then you started talking to Jacqueline and the group of Beyond Recovery, and at some point something changed for you. Like, we all have a moment, maybe, or slowly something. I'm sure you didn't go into that group going like, oh, it's just a thought, I don't need to pay attention to that, like, just suddenly they come with this idea that sounds so ridiculous, like, what do you mean it's just a thought? what do you need? What do you mean I'm not my story? You know.
Do you know what? After that, when I saw that with my mum, and like I said, I didn't know what I saw. I just knew that there was a chance that it might not have been her fault. And there was a chance it might be all on me. And when I say all on me, that means all, if it's not her fault, because everything was her fault. I hadn't had a few different people I split it all up with. No, it was all her fault. So if it wasn't all her fault, then hold on, that means it's all me. Like, okay. I saw a glimpse of that. And then I thought, okay, if that's true, then who am I? My partner, we've been arguing. I was in prison. I was saying, you know what? I'm determined when I get out, we're not going to be together. We've just had a baby and it's all messed up. And so to me, I said, okay, let me look and see if there's anything there where I can disprove this theory. Because then there must be something in there I can disprove this theory. Because I know if it might not be my mum, but my issues with my girl, that's definitely all her. That's a different kettle of fish, totally. So then I said, all right then. So then with an open mind and everything, I said, all right, let me have an open mind. And there was a point when I was on a visit. I think I was on a visit. I've told this story before. I was on a visit and she traditionally comes late. At some prisons, when she turns up late, they've got a cut-off point. So they'll come and collect you. You got on your like Sunday best. You go out there. You're waiting, and then when it reaches 2:15, say it's like, right, you back to the wing. Your visitors haven't turned up, so you're like a mug going back to the wing, like, oh, he's busy. They're not doing that, but this is what you're thinking. Yeah, this visitor hasn't turned up, and so she used to, not regular, but she's known for doing it. So in Onley, I was sitting down there in the visit. In Onley, they actually put you on the visit with other visitors. So I'm sitting there watching everyone else play Happy Families, sweating bullets because I'm thinking everyone's watching me. Talking about, look at him, sad, look at him over there, sad sack, he ain't got no family. And I started to get in my head about, oh, why does she always do this to me? Oh, she knows I don't like these embarrassing situations. And the thoughts started to stack, and I was on Beyond Recovery's course at the time. And I just caught myself when I was starting to stack these thoughts and say, oh, no, this is what they talk about. Okay, they say it's about thoughts, yeah? All right, well, don't think about it then, just relax. And then I relaxed, and then I just cleared my mind, and I thought, you know what? It is kind of far for her to come up here, you know. And she has got to get my son ready. And then she has got to do, yeah, do you know what? Oh, okay. She does care about me, so yeah, I can't be upset. And I sat down and I relaxed. And when I started to look at people, I weren't thinking, oh yeah, they're laughing at me. I was just like relaxed. And I thought, okay, this thing's... So when she turned up now, I was in a proper chilled out, good mood. And I said to her, hi, you're right. How you doing? With a big smile. She looked at me like, what's going on? Because she knows she's late. She's expecting that reaction from me. So she's already got up her defenses. Doesn't matter what comes out of my mouth. She's still got her script, what she's probably been rehearsing on the way in. He's going to say this. But because I'm not playing my part, she's still playing her part. And she sort of thinks it's a trap. She sort of thinks I'm lulling her in so then I can just snap. But I'm seeing her reaction. I'm thinking, why are you acting like that? And she's like, no, you think I don't know you? And that's when I saw it, that her reality was like set in stone. No matter what I'd done or said, she was going to react the way that she reacted. But the beautiful part for me was I was like, I was in slow-mo when everything else was moving. And I'm just looking at what's going on. I can see what's going on. Whereas before, if I would have been in my thinking, me and her just would have been going at it head to head. And I wouldn't have realized what was going on. But because my thinking had not sped up and I was just seeing everything for what it is, I realized that I had the power. Because if I wanted to, I could just say one thing and we'll be arguing. But I was laughing my head off throughout the whole visit. Just laughing at her. Look, what are you acting like that for? I'm not going to say. To me, it was funny. To her, it was the worst visit ever. Because it just didn't go to how she thought it went, how she had planned it. And that goes again down to, we was talking about the other day, like expectations. She's obviously expecting a bad visit. So you would think in a normal scenario, she'd come in, see me smiling, and obviously she's just going to drop into a happy visit time. But no, she's already built a reality or a scenario of what's going to happen on this visit. Now, she's going to back herself now and say, no, I know this is what has to happen. She doesn't even want that to happen. But because she's got that in her thinking, that's what's going to happen. But yeah, that was the time for me when I just saw, yeah, this thing here, there's a lot of by releasing your control, you gain control, if that makes sense. Because you sort of see things, and that made me see separate realities for truly for what it was. But even then, not even on that level as to what I'm seeing it through living life a bit more fuller from being out and more challenging. But yeah, that was my first time that I said, you know, there's something in this thing, definitely something that can, not thought that it could lead me to here, but there's definitely something in this that can lead me in a way that I need to go. Because if I tell the truth, in a way, I've always been kind of searching for something like this. I always kind of knew it was there, if that makes sense. But I didn't put a name on it, or I didn't know what it was. I just knew I was searching for something, and there was something at what I was doing and what I'd had and the lifestyle that I had lived previously. It had done certain things for me materially, but deep down I knew that there was more to it than that. There was much more to it than that. And when I found it, either I was just being another gullible idiot, was just, oh, yeah, this is another one of them things. And as soon as I tell my friend, he'll be like, no, that can't be right because that, and that. And I'll be like, duh, idiot, man, they got me good, man. No, this thing holds water. It holds water, yeah? This theory holds water. And to see how I've changed or how I've grown from the person that Jacqueline or Mama J met in Onley is just totally just crazy. So yeah, so
well, we know how that makes for different relationships. That makes for a new world, and it's so disarming. Because when you stop turning up in the same way, something's turning up there with Derrick. So when you stop turning up in the same way, the other person sort of like sees something different.
Yeah.
And that's where we also know that starts a ripple effect, that starts a domino effect, that I guess soon enough, as you were there, is Derrick gone? Is he still there? Is he still here? Okay.
I think he's just gone.
I think he's gone.
But I'll let him back in.
So he's probably, we saw him very frantically looking for a charge, or said, we'll wait a minute for him to come back. Just wait. Hopefully he's coming back.
Hopefully. I think it may have been his battery.
It may have been his battery, so it may be that he needs a little bit to recharge. But I guess what happened at that time, and
he's back.
Oh, he's back. He's back.
Let me just unmute him. Where is he?
sorry about that.
That's all right.
Okay.
My battery died on my laptop. Sorry.
Are you okay now?
Yeah, it should hold out now. I just plugged it in 2 minutes before it went out, but it didn't hold it enough. But
Okay.
at 1%, we should be all right. We'll be all right.
Okay. So we were saying, are you breathe in, breathe out. I'm sure Derrick's been in a lot more complicated situations in prison than this one. So we were saying that this is when you turn up in a different way. So something changes. And I guess after that, as you say, this holds water. So my guess is that after that, people start seeing something different in you. The people around you, the people in the group, your loved ones, something starts to change. And please correct me if I'm wrong, but and this is what starts changing the world. Is this possibility that so people start getting curious about, so what happened there? So what you start talking about things you don't even know what you're saying. And
that used to happen to me when I first came out and I went around my family and I used to just blurt it out and not know what I'm talking about, and they'll look at me, yeah, it sounds great, but yeah, it just sounds great. It looks like you've changed a little bit, but yeah, what you're talking about sounds great. And I just thought, you know what, I'm not good at this talking malarkey. let me just leave that alone. Let me just try to live this and just try to use it for myself. But I sort of found the same thing that you said, by just showing up slightly different, you're an example of what you're trying to show people. And the less effort that you put in, is like the more you get out. And just by seeing that in play, gives you the freedom to just put in a little less effort and just show up a bit more like yourself. And for someone like me who used to think showing up as myself was not acceptable on any kind of level, no matter who you were, I had to put on some sort of act or some sort of persona to accommodate who I was talking to. Me showing up as me was just, that's the little guy in the corner that no one wants to listen to, that scared of everything, that nobody wants to listen to that bloke. So we just locked him up and keep him over there. And you put on that suit to be, this is what you're gonna be. But that little fella in the corner is he's got love in his corner. And from he's got love in his corner, he's strong. So he needs to be let out of his box and do his thing and dance and get in the zone, yeah? Because when they talk about you're in the zone or you're in the moment or you're in this, it's love that's fueling that. It's love that's behind that. So yeah, when you just show up as the best version of yourself and you see that is actually worth something. Because like I said, with all this, what I said before, I used to blame my mum. I never used to really class myself as worth anything. I put myself there. I jumped into that sort of world because that's what somebody like me does. I am not to say I'm not clever enough. I always know I'm clever enough to start a business. I've tried to start a few businesses, but the other world has always taken over. But that's just where my level is. Just stay there, make a bit of money there, start a business, do it all the easy way, do it all the little cutting corner ways. But really, 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 the real person, the real me is good enough to do anything, to do absolutely anything. And if I can do that to other people by just showing up as myself, then that is perfect. And what I thought you asked earlier, I thought I was going to answer, where you said, where this love thing showed up for me. Because like I said, if they would have told me this, they made me a mentor, they gave me a job, if they would have said, Derrick, right, this lesson, all we're talking about is love, I'd be like, what? Whoa, slow down, okay. What, is there going to be girls in the room? If there's girls in the room, we can talk about love. I'm not going into that room full of prisoners and talking about love. It's not on. You can take back your t-shirt. I know it's worth a lot. I know we value our t-shirts in here, but you can take that one back. It's not on. Even then, even till about a year ago, if you would have said, no, Derrick, we're going into prison, we're going to talk about love. You'd be like, no, I've got no. Even though I've come out of the game, I've still got a little bit of name where people say like, hello. No, they won't be talking to me at all now. If you start talking about love, forget that. Yeah, love, no. Yeah. We say love is the answer and love is all you need. Yeah, it's all a catchy song, but really, leave it. Leave that at the door, yeah? We're dealing with a oneness, but yeah, the love stays at the door. But it's only when this George Floyd thing happened, and I started to read what was going on and all the content and everything, and I wanted to dive in where historically I might have thought, right, this is what's going to happen. They're all this, they're all that. This just proves this. That didn't seem natural or right to me anymore. So I just sat with it and I sat with it and I sat with it. And I just sat with it. And then the answer was like there in front of me all the time, is what we've just been talking about. You can only be the change that you want to see, what you want to see in others. So by showing up as the real you, that is the way you're going to impact and affect people who might think another way innocently or might have done things innocently. And I said, hold on. No, so, okay, so then if I come to the table with love and somebody else is at the table with love, then we can boogie. But if you don't want to love, then you just don't come to the table. It's as simple as that. And you might want to see us, and eventually you might want to be like us. And then all you have to do is just show up with love. And that's it, you like us. You're back in that oneness of love. Because that's where that's you can only be one with love. You can't be angry with somebody and upset with them and still connected. Because even though that is a form of love, but that is not the love where the connection is born. So that is when I realized, like, wow, even something like that, something what, again, for me, I've been brought up with certain beliefs and certain ways of thinking that I thought were true and this was solid, but it's not. There is no us and them. There is no them, they done this to us and we want to do this back to them. There is none of that. There's only now. There's only now. And right now I see people on the screen, I see people that are willing to give love. And if you're willing to give love, I don't know if you can feel it, but I'm trying to give it back. Yeah. And I'm happy with that. I'm happy. I don't care what you look like, what none of that. That doesn't matter. We're connected on a love level. And if that's what I can bring to the table and somebody at the other side of the table is bringing that, then like I said, we're going to be all right. But I can't bring nothing less than that to the table, if that makes sense. And the more I deal, and like I said, this love thing, the deeper I look into love, that is just like, that is what we are. We are love. So how can I not bring that to the table? I have to think to put something in the way of that. So if I'm just showing up as myself, then I'm showing up as pure love. And it is no more complicated than that. And like I said, if you would have said, yeah, you're going to talk about love, because when you don't show up as love, what are you talking about love? Talking about love? No. It's laughable when I say it now, the way I think about it now. Because as we were saying before, Caroline, there's this macho image of men don't talk about love. What are you talking about love? But we are love. Even that macho image is love, to say like, right, I don't want anyone to see the love that's in me. So I'm going to put up this macho facade. But it's there. It's there. It's there. It's there for us all, man. It's there for us all to revel and enjoy and
So there was a point that Mama J gave you the t-shirt. And I don't know if it was the pink one or the light blue, but it was one of them. And then
definitely wasn't pink. I'll tell you that. It was beige. Yeah, it was beige. No pink.
Oh, it was beige. Sorry for the confusion. I want to apologize for that. So you still have a reputation to uphold. So and I guess the dream began of Beyond Truth was born, and Beyond Recovery Entrepreneurs was born, and it's about passing it on. And and you are now playing a big role in that. So So would you like to say something about that? Let us see.
Oh, mate. Even that intro, when you was giving that intro, I kept looking at the door thinking, is there about some superstar about to walk in this door and say, move over there. This is my turn to talk. Oh, you thought she was talking about you? No. Go make a cup of tea, man. I was like, oh my God, for real? But you know what? It's like, when I got this understanding, this is just the wildest dreams. I just thought, you know what? This thing's okay for sorting my head out with certain things. And okay, maybe I've been treating my girl a bit bad. And maybe I'll learn to treat her a bit better. And yeah, I'll appreciate a rose when I see it in the future. But this is like wildest dream. The things that you've just said, like crazy to meet 5 guys in there and then come out and just connect and share on some different level and then just all want to start something. And I found them all individually, not to find out where their head's at, but just to speak to them and say, yes, and they all repeated basically the same thing back to me word for word. I don't want to do this for the money. The money's not, and these are all criminal people I met in prison, so they've done activities. So each and every one of them said to me individually, I'm not starting this for no money. I want to make a difference. I want to help. I want to give back. And that, when I heard that, I was like, wow, you know what? Because that's where I'm coming from. So to meet 5 guys, 4 other guys, and just we all meet up and we all start Beyond Truth, and we all just start moving in a direction or just a purpose based on the 3 principles, something can get born and started. Because like you said, when Mama J gave me the t-shirt, I don't know what I turned that t-shirt into, but I've turned that into something and I'm handing it out as well, or I'm trying to hand it out. And I don't know what it looks like, but I'm just handing it out. Yeah. And for all of us, it's just been a mad experience. And to be employed, sometimes I even now I think the organization that I engaged with when I was in prison, I've come out with, and then I've started to do mentoring work with, then I've been given a job, then I've been given sort of like a promotion, then I've become invaluable, then I've just got it in it's just, I can do that. And when I saw Beyond Recovery come in, it's like, it looked to me, it just looked like a big machine, a well-oiled machine that's just rolling through town, swept me up, and then now I'm in that machine, I'm part of it, like working the pedals, like, but I'm part of it. And I can't believe that sometimes. And yeah, I just can't believe that sometimes. Like I said, the trajectory of where I was physically is one thing, but then spiritually is just another level, different level, totally. And that to me, like, makes me the proudest guy on this earth, to know that I can do something. And this all, I should have put it in with a bit more context of how I used to think about myself before. Like, it's just crazy. It's to know, yeah, it's that I'm so proud of that, and it just takes me aback. But it just draws back to the same thing of when I realized when I was in my cell that I could be anything I wanted to be. That was another flashpoint moment when I realized I didn't have to sell drugs. Not that I had to stop, but I just didn't have to. I just didn't have to. There was an option. There's always an option. But I never know that it would lead to this. I never know it would ever lead to this. And that just keeps me true to myself, to know that I really thought that I could be anything, but I didn't really buy into it 100% at that time. But let's just say I'm up the road to buying into it, that I can actually be anything. Because to say you can be anything, and then like to do this, I was nervous. So yeah, I can do anything. Oh yeah, but not talking how to do it for you. That's too much for me. No, I can do anything. I can do anything, but it's my thinking that gets in the way. It's my thinking that gets in the way. But yeah, I'm so proud of what I've achieved so far and how far I've come. And people say that I'm impact, or people listen to me, and yeah, because I said to you before, I just thought I had an idea of what I was gonna say, but I just leave it to mind. And if I know I'll just be present, then like I said, being present is just being love. So I know whatever comes out of my mouth is just coming from that space, that beautiful space.
Oh, I know we're protected by the fabulous five. So,
Mhm.
so now we have which we should really mention them because they're really fabulous. So Derrick, feel free to some of them are here today. And we're going to have all of them in this series. Some of them we had, some of them we will have. Yeah. So we're gonna open up for questions and for sharing. I
think Derrick's just muted himself.
Did you mute yourself?
Yeah.
Unmute yourself. Come on. What are you doing? You're not done. There he goes. Can you unmute yourself? You can't unmute yourself. Okay, we're going to mute everybody else.
There you go.
Sorry about that. There was a police car going by and I didn't want it to distract from, so I just muted. I couldn't unmute.
So
doing that again.
So I guess part of the dream would be also, you know, if that car that was passing by was looking after that Derrick that is 17, 15, 16. But before that happened, somebody like you know, beyond truth, beyond recovery, can get to talk to these guys and know what you knew later. I guess this is where you guys are so, you know, we're hoping that we can do that as well. But I guess that Derrick will listen to this Derrick, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Because you know, you can speak the language, you know what they're going through.
And do you know what I think it is as well, Carolina? It's not, I wouldn't tell him what to do. I'll just tell him what I used to do at that age. And if he can see any similarities, then he would know that he's seeing them as well. He's going through, not going through, but what I've seen, he can see something in that as well. And a young me, if I would have been told what I know now, I probably would have wasted it, but yeah, I'm only joking. If I would have known what I know now, then yeah, my life would have been totally different. Totally. It's just as simple as knowing that the acceptance of certain things. Like, you just simply accept what pops into your head and what you believe to be real in that moment as true for the rest of your life. Because I remember this as a child, my mum telling me I always know best, and I thought I knew everything. When I was 14, you couldn't tell me how the world run. I knew everything. I knew about money and didn't know about money apart from when my mum sent me to the shop, but I knew about money, I knew about everything. So when she's telling me, I think I do know everything. But when my brain and my image is formulating of how life is, it's sort of setting itself like, yeah, that's how it is. And you don't have to live your life like that. Everything can change in the moment. How a situation looks today might not look like that tomorrow. So just keep that in mind before you say, yeah, it's always going to be like that. Every moment is individual, and you can be who you want to be in that moment. You've got the choice. So yeah, with Beyond Truth, we're trying to just bring back some of that, and anybody that's been in any situation like us, and even situations about to be in a situation like us, or first time being in a situation like that, just somebody who can hear anything, can relate to anything along the lines of what I'm saying. Because when we went back into Nottingham and speaking to some of those guys, sometimes it's just your presence. Just to know that, hold on, you was in prison and you've come back, they've let you back into prison. Oh, you can do that, can you? Oh, wow. So just that alone tells them their life's not over. Some people get arrested, get a sentence for 9 months, and think, all right, that's it, I'm a criminal, my life's over, I can't do no good no more. But it doesn't have to be like that. It's like everything changes when your thinking changes. If you know that 1 minute I done something that wasn't right, it was bad, the next one doesn't have to be a bad thing. You've got the choice. You've got the choice to live in that moment.
Amazing.
So should we see if people have, I don't know
Yep.
if we have anything on the chat.
No.
So we are, so you kind of mute yourselves or put your hand up, or if you want to ask something or share something.
Hello, I'm driving, so I can't be seen by now, but I want to quickly show my face. Hello, everyone.
Hello, lovely.
Yeah, I'm driving. It's kind of dangerous. I'll just switch back off, but yeah, just showing up. And it took me a while to do that, but the love is always there. And when you can't ever have that feeling of doubts, especially when you're coming out and knowing that someone's gone through the same route as you and can hold on when times are rough, and that's the rough part, just trying to sit with the feeling, especially when you're going through with something or you're going through it, like Derrick said, if you're new and you're going through something and you're first time in prison, coming out of prison, sometimes you're feeling like you're alone and there's no one in that world with you. But you're not alone. You're not alone, especially that feeling of love. You find that feeling of love in the weirdest places, but it's always there. It's always there. And when you do turn up, you turn up with that feeling of love. And sometimes things when your ego drops because you need a hug. We're all human beings, innit? Even when Derrick said, like, as men, we're not allowed to cry. And I cried in rooms with like loving and actually caring people. And at that time, it wasn't a weakness, but because we are men, it's a sign as a weakness. But now I'm allowed to cry, drop my ego and give me a cuddle because I need a cuddle. It's coming up to Christmas, by the way. It's Happy Christmas and Happy New Year. But times like this, I want a cuddle, innit? It's getting cold. I want a cuddle. You know what I mean? It's as simple as that. You know what I mean? It's as simple as that. I need a cuddle. I'm gonna get a cuddle. But yeah, and that's just turn up with love and dropping a mask and just turn up as yourself and being there for each other and connecting as humans. And thank you very much. And I just wanted to add that. So Derrick, I love you, mate. Cupid,
Love you too, bro. Love you too, bro.
Thank you, everyone.
Oh, we love you, Chris. Oh, we have plenty of hugs. And
Absolutely.
yeah.
Obviously, social distance at the moment.
So you can watch actually Christopher Mavinga's episode on Series 2. So we're gonna link that as well because Chris was a beautiful episode. So thank you. And so let's see.
Ooh.
Hey.
What's happening? I just wanted to add something real quick. So it's like meeting the boys in jail and just coming on this journey with them. It's like, to be honest, it's a bit hard to say, but I've never. I'm the youngest out of the boys, so I've never really had a role model, if you know what I mean. And it's like Derrick has just become like that role model type for me, where it's just like we talk a lot and I hear the situations he's been through, and it's like a little guidance to me. And even when I'm going through situations, it's like a little guidance to me. And it's like I realize when we speak, he doesn't see anything. He doesn't see age. He doesn't see anything I've done, anything I've been through. We just talk, and we just, do you know what I mean? I can get things off my chest with him. I can do all of that. And he's just actually become like a big role model in my life. Like, even when he rings me, my missus is like, "Is that your girlfriend?" I'm like, chill out. Like, chill out. It's just Derrick, chill out. But no, on the other hand, he's become a big role model. And I ain't told him that. So just at first, but he's become a big role model in my life. And it's like, I aspire to be as wise as that. Do you know what I mean? At that age, do you know what I mean? Just like for myself. But yeah, I just wanted to say I really appreciate you, mate.
Yeah, thanks for that. Thanks for that, brother. Yeah.
Very love. It's the love. Just so we're gonna see Wills in our Series 4. So yeah. So so they're all coming here.
Yeah.
And
I'm not used to, like, the two guys who just spoke, Chris Mavinga and Omar Wilson, two of the guys from Beyond Truth, the Fab Five. I met them in Onley, and like I said, I've never had no level of feelings for not even friends I've had from when I was small. I got like a level of feeling that I got of a connection when I got with these guys. And I was sort of thinking the other day, like I said, I've got friends, a lot of my friends I've had to not lock off, I've had to not have any dealings with them because they're still on that side of the fence. And probably now, but when I first came out, I wasn't that strong where I could say, go back round everybody, and because I weren't sure where my thinking might have led me. But yeah, the connection that I've got with these guys, it's just so unreal. And I think it's, because even when I met my friends that I'm talking about from younger, I still met them with that same eyes that I had on when my mum was to blame with everything. So they never even them, they don't know the real me. Because from back then I've been doing that. So then Omar and Chris, I've sort of met them when I've been at 0, and then they was at 0. So then we're just natural, just loving beings, connecting. And then it just, it grows from that spot. It's like it's unbreakable because there's no intellect involved. Because like I said, when I talk to him, I don't see his age or see Chris. I just see them as two brothers, two close people that I've come to see as brothers, along with Alfie and Talani. But yeah, that's connection, just crazy. It's just crazy. It's just through love, and where your center is at the time when you're giving that love and receiving that love. But yeah, thanks for that, Omar and Chris, man. You guys mean a lot to me, man. And to hear them things there as well. People that have previously said that to me, that have previously been about Omar's age, have said that, and it hasn't ended good for them, and it hasn't been it just hasn't. It just hasn't. So even when I hear him say that, it just brings back certain things in my head where I've let certain people down, where they've looked up to me and said, "What's the next move, brother?" And yeah, but yeah, that just means a lot to me, Omar. Wow. It's all love. It's all love, man. It's all love.
It's all love. We have more love coming in. So Peter, you have your hand up, and you want to.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Yeah, I've just done the VIP course with these guys, and yeah, they're absolutely amazing. It's mind blowing, and yeah, Derrick, I look up to you big time. Both of you boys are phenomenal, and love you so much. Cheers, guys.
Thank you so much for being here.
Right back at you, Peter. No, right back at you.
I'll just get a little plug in for Peter. He'd be very good on your show.
Oh, are you saying we should invite him for Series 4 or Series 5? We need to stretch you out now because we're running out of you guys. So, well, it doesn't matter. We can keep inviting you.
Look at him. It's just like, no.
You'll never run out. You'll never run out of our guys.
So it's noted, Peter. Sorry. He's putting a heart and holding his head in.
There by the looks of it.
You should talk to Chris to see how he felt when we said we want to series 2.
Yeah.
It's like, no, but it's like, it's me and the guys, isn't it? No. So Claire has her hand up.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Cool. Derrick, I just want to say thank you so much for sharing your story with such an open heart. It was so heartfelt, and you know, I really recognised in myself, really, you know, how we can all sort of grow up with these storylines and believe them. And I definitely did very similar to what you did as well, but more with my dad, really. And it's only been sort of in the past sort of like year or so that I've realised that I made it up. And it's amazing how your whole world can sort of just turn around, isn't it? But yeah, I loved what you had to say, and I just thank you so much.
Thank you, Claire. Thank you. I think you see with that is like the more I put to blame on her, and like I said, I put everything to blame on her, the more my life turned around when I realised that it wasn't all her. And it made me, like I said, it couldn't go down, oh, it must be my sister's fault. Or it must be my brother, it must be the dog's fault. There was nobody else. It's either her or me. And really, was it really her that made the police kick off her door? No, that was me, because of the series of thinking and choices that I had made. And when I was willing to accept that, the little coward or the little frightened to accept responsibility, because that with me, that I said, you know what, I'm not doing it. I'm not taking that responsibility. It's her fault. But then really realizing that it was all you, yeah, that's a lot. Not even a lot to bear, it's a lot to shed. Because I didn't bear it like, oh my God, it was, I used to blame her and have it on my shoulders. It just went. It just all went. And I don't know if it's not even a good or a bad thing, but because she's passed now, I know that she would have been so happy and so proud of me right now. And it doesn't even matter that she can't see me here now, because she's a part of me. She's a part of this love that I'm sharing with you. You're receiving a piece of her, and her love will live forever in me and in my children and in my children's children. And anybody I impact, they're getting a piece of her. Because, yeah, she made me what I am here today, exclusively, in more than one way, physically and spiritually. So,
Anybody else that wants to ask a question or show something, or I've got a knot in my throat, and
I'd like to ask Derrick a question, if that's all right.
yeah.
Absolutely, go for it.
Hi, Derrick. Derrick, you've said a couple of really big, significant changes that you saw, like, you know, when you were waiting for your girlfriend and in the visitor's room and stuff. I'd love it, without putting you on the spot, to like, what are some of the little tiny things that you've maybe not noticed at the time, but now that you've been in this for a while, you might be able to look back and say, right, I realised that, you know, those little realisations, the everyday ones.
Little ones, I would don't know if it's little or not, but I would say like my moods on how I would. Even today, I woke up this morning, knew that it was Wednesday. Oh, it's that second, the day that you said would never come. It's here now. I got up and I was like, all right then, a bit nervous, but yeah, I'll deal with that. Then find out my son's not going to school today. I've got quite a bit of work to do today. Find out my son's not going to school today. Find out that she's not going to be in. So now I've got to babysit instead of doing the work. So then I'll be frustrated. It is usually the little things that usually are the best crumbs when you see something. And I'm just trying to wrap my brain to think what it is I said that to. But yeah, it's usually the little things. Because they're, like you said, they're more everyday and more frequent. So when I start to see that, even getting upset, arguing with my girlfriend, getting upset with her. I remember there's a time when I came out, I didn't engage with Beyond Recovery. When I left Onley, where I was engaged with Beyond Recovery, I went to the open conditions, which I so much wanted. Got there, no Beyond Recovery, by myself, fell off the wagon after a day, questioning myself again, is this even real? But then managed to find some sort of equilibrium with myself where I managed to stop smoking and was sort of living the principles at about 1%, but just knew they was there. So when I've come out now, I've got a job, home life has been kind of stressed, looking like what it was like before I left. And I thought to myself, how did I get here? So I picked up the phone, I emailed all the numbers for Beyond Recovery. They got back to me and I was just about to have a full-blown argument with my partner. And then the phone rings. No, it was a message. No, you think you left a message. You left a voice note and I listened to it. And from I listened to it, I just hung up. I just went like that. And she's expecting the next word to be out of my mouth. But as I hung up, I just went, do you know what, baby? I don't want to argue with you anymore. And she went, what? Who's that on that phone? Who have you just spoken to? So then that kind of showed me that within an instant, that little thought, when I saw that, I said, hold on, a minute ago, I was ready to rip her head off and go to war. But just by listening to a message from Mama J, just flipped me totally. And that just showed me that in an instant, I could go from being in an argumentative mood to one thought, and then I just don't want to argue with you anymore, baby. And it didn't really take the voice message to do that. I could have done that, but it did take the voice message to highlight it for me. That I have got that capability to just in and out. And that is something that I do get upset. Just the other day we was arguing and I said, and then it just fell away. And sometimes she looks at me like, oh, what's this madman? You don't even know how to keep up a good argument anymore. He's done it, but then he just drops away. But yeah, no, sometimes I just fall out of it. But it's the little things. But I remember something I'll tell you, it's the little ones that you sort of remember and can see and then kind of catch yourself when you're down that road again. I don't know if that helped you. All right.
Yes, that's clear. So Omar had.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just thinking about what Claire said, and I thought of two ones that I kind of feel small, but they never are. They're as small as you want them to be. Do you know what I mean? But my first one was I always used to associate a blue packet to cheese and onion crisps, and I've said this so many times, but it was a small one for me. But I only realized when I picked up a blue one and it was salt and vinegar one day, and I thought, like, that's just what you do. You just associate blue packets with cheese and onion. That's it. That's set in your brain now. So anytime I just go in the shop, I just see a blue packet, I pick it up and I just think it's cheese and onion without even checking it. And the next one was I realized that I didn't like silence. Like if there was a little gap or if there was silence, I would have a lot of thinking around that. And that was small, but now I feel it's big. Because now I really don't fear any silence. Like we could be silent for 2 hours, 2 minutes. It really don't matter to me. And then I see a lot of people around me trying to fill the silence, and I just understand what they're doing and what they're going through because I used to do that. So yeah, sorry, that's just two that I thought of.
Thank you, Omar. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Look, even Lucifera, which just look, she's pure love. You see, so your cat that you said is died, Lucifer, from now on, please report. She may be on Sirius 6 or some Sirius 5.
Well, mine's already made an appearance today, so on quite a few times. So, yeah.
So, any other questions before we'll wrap it up, or you want to share something?
Sorry, I have another question, a really quick one.
As far as Derrick doesn't have to go babysitting again, it's fine.
I just wondered, Derrick, I don't know a lot of your story. I heard you on the conference the other week, but I wondered, did you have an addiction, a drug addiction, as well as, yeah, did it help you with your addiction as well?
Yeah, it did. It was, I was going to say, I should stop saying this, but I was going to say it's only cannabis. But it was a cannabis addiction. But this did help with that because cause I used to sell hard drugs, and there's like not a hierarchy, but like people who smoke weed look down on people who smoke Class A drugs, and people who smoke certain drugs look down on. So I've always seen it as only weed, and I'm not as bad as them, and they're worse. They rob this and they would sell this just to get that. I don't do that. I'm better than that. But when I went on to NA, Alfie used to run, he's one of the Fab Five, he used to run NA as a sly Free Principles group, but labeled NA. So he went, so I used to go, but then the usual cohort would turn up, people who were addicts, and we'll do the NA, he'll do the NA thing, but he'll just layer it underneath with a bit of Free Principles. And when people were sharing their stories, they're saying, oh yeah, my mum did this and that, oh, I did this because I smoked it. And I was like, wow, their story's the same as mine. We've just got a different outlet. And to give up what they've got, what they've done is a lot harder to give up a bit of cannabis, because cannabis is not seen as physically addictive as some of the harder drugs. So they're stronger than me when they're giving up theirs, and I'm like still puffing away on mine. And all the time I had it that I was stronger than them. But no, so then that kind of flipped me to say, do you know what? It doesn't matter what the drug is, what the choice is. We're all the same. We're all using it for the same thing. And what are we using it for? To escape from something. And it's the same prism through what I was looking through when I was younger. I need to smoke weed because, oh, this woman's stressing me. This woman's making my life like this. It was all something else. It was all something else. And I'm searching outside for something else that I know that I've got already in me. So it did help with that. And it did, like I said, it did help to see that cannabis is just the same as any other drug. It's just as debilitating or demoralizing, or it make you incapacitated as any other drug. And it's just your thinking as well. It's just all about your thinking towards it. So yeah, with that now, I wouldn't, no advice or anything. I could just say, do you know what? Just realize that it's your thinking that's at the root of everything. Because I had an example with my friend T. He gave up smoking, tobacco by buying some tobacco. He really needed tobacco, so he got some tobacco. And when he got it in his hand, he felt relief. And he thought, well, I don't even need to smoke it. Let me put it on the chair. And just because he had it in his presence, the craving went. And he was like, wow, let me put it on the chair. And he left it on the chair, there a day, there 2 days. He's like, whoa, I don't need to smoke. And he stopped smoking. So as soon as he told me that, first thing I want to do, bought some tobacco, put it in my hand, right. Oh, this ain't working. Put it on the chair, right. This ain't work. 2 minutes later, that's a stupid idea, man. That don't work. What's he talking? But I realized everybody's got their own, something in his head and his experience and his lifestyle or his lived experience triggered that to make sense for him. But I haven't got that same upbringing and that same lifestyle and lived, so then it never clicked for me. So you have to have your own thing what just clicks. And my thing was, do you know what? The outside in thing, searching outside for something what you've already got. When I wake up in the morning, drug-free, and I go to bed drug-free, is like the day I was born, and I was perfect then. So that's more the way, not the hold it. It cost me £5 as well. The good smoke though, but yeah, no. But I realized that day that what works for somebody doesn't necessarily have to work for anybody else, and he swears by it because he's to this day he hasn't smoked. And if you ask him how comes, he'll tell you that same story. Yeah, he'll tell you that exact same story. But yeah.
That's a great question.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So we're still here. We still have Derrick here. So if you have any more, you'll survive, man.
I'll just jump in and say thank you to Derrick. Absolutely incredible talk, very moving, very real. What I saw when you were talking is that it's what, because you said it a few times, it isn't that, it doesn't seem to me that it's what people change because they see you're changed. It's that it comes out of your eyes, like you change, you shift, and the world shifts. What you're looking at shifts, and you see something differently. So you saw through that prism of resentment and suffering and insecurity. And when that dropped, everything else looked different. And then you start seeing the love and the feeling and so on. And I really loved that. So thank you.
Thank you, Mama J. You know, you were the start of all this. It wasn't for you deciding to go into that field, or I don't know where I would be right now. And that sometimes I really have to wonder that. I really have to wonder that, because as I've told you, as I said to you before, the three people who I used to do, there was three of us, we used to do our things, and when I was away, they all got arrested and got like 22, 23, like proper double figures. So if I wanted to, everything that they had left behind, I could have just picked it up and been at the top of some different kind of mountain right now, doing some different kind of things. But that is just not, that is not what I wanted, because I am exactly where I'm exactly where I need to be. And the lifestyle thing is not even like what it was before, but that was just all thinking as well. What I thought. I thought I could never survive on certain money. No, you can't, but you can. You can. You make it work. You can. I'm living. I've got my family here. I'm the richest man. I said something the other day where I said, yeah, because of my family, I'm the richest man on this planet, just because of my family. All the riches, all the things I used to try to run down and look for before, and it was right under my nose all the time. And I used to see it when I used to have pictures on my wall of my children and Mickey, and people used to just come and say, oh, you got sugar, you got things. Like, oh, you got a nice family. I'd be like, yeah. Oh, you got a nice family. Officers would come into my cell to do bolts. They'd be like, oh, you got a nice family. I'd be like, yeah. And I heard it a few too many times. And I was like, well, everyone keep telling me that, man. All right, man. And I started to look at them and say, oh, no, do you know what? I have got a beautiful family. Wow, you know what? That's where my power is. That's where my strength is. That's where my love, that's where my riches lie. In that, to have so many people come and tell me that, and I was doing the principles at the time. When I looked and I said, no, that's where my beauty and my power lies. Yeah, I'm the richest person, but to think it and then to feel it and come out and to see it, 15, 20 minutes of them winding me up and wanting me to pull me hair out. It's like, oh my God, who are these children? Who sent these devil children to me? But then I realized it comes in all different forms and flow is flow. So when I was 14 and 12 and 5, yeah, it was just a house of fun. And I know that I'm a fun kind of dad who tries not to be like how my mum was, but at the same time, they do walk over me a little bit, but it is all, I do get frustrated, but it's all part of the flow, innit? It's all part of the flow. Yeah, I just hope that I'm adding something to them. But like what someone said earlier, the curiosity, I used to kill them. They used to say, oh, Dad, you come to mentor me, Dad. Dad, we don't want your mentoring, Dad. Quick, run, he's coming. So I just said, you know what? I'm going to stop with all that. And someone told me to just show up as you show up. I said, all right. And then Mama J borrowed me a book, Science of Mind. And then the young one picked it up and, Dad, why are you reading this big book? What's this book about? I just explained a bit to her. She's like, oh, okay. Why hasn't it got a blurb? I said, oh, only big books have blurbs. And she's like, oh, okay. Now put it back down as you put it down. But she's interested and she's curious. And I ain't trying to force it on her. She just gently, and every time she sees me reading it, she goes, oh, what's that you're reading? Conscious, what's that mean? So today I just had to tell her what consciousness was and how the different levels of consciousness. When you're angry or you're upset, that's a different level of consciousness, because you don't like me, you don't like your sister, you don't like your mom, you don't like anybody when you're upset. When your sister's upset you, you don't like anybody. She's like, yeah. I said, oh, but when you're happy, you love everybody, don't you? She's like, oh, yeah. I said, that's different levels of consciousness, right? See, like, I've got to go. And she's like, oh, Dad, you always reading them books, man. I said, yeah, that's why. Yeah, but just her curiosity and her asking me all the time has just got me happy. But yeah, just stay present and show up how you show up, and you will make an influence just by people. Sometimes you wouldn't even know. It's like that thing you say hello to somebody and they say hello back and you don't know you've just made their day. And it means nothing to you because you just said hello to somebody. But to them, it's made their day, brightened up their whole day. And that's just by showing up. Just by showing up. It's a powerful thing. It's a powerful thing showing up as you. A powerful thing. Yeah.
So thank you so much for showing up as you. We love you so much. I don't think we have enough words to.
No. You're just amazing. You really are. Thank you.
You have, as we usually say, you become our teachers since we met you, and you are an acquired family now that we're going to keep for the rest of our lives.
Absolutely.
You're all absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Derrick, for trusting in us and saying yes and coming here to share your love and your story. Look at that. So I guess because you did so well, we're going to have to invite you again at some point. Yeah, I wish you could see this because everybody's just doing their own dance. So thank you so much. I don't know if there's anything else you would like to say.
I'd like to thank everybody for allowing me to show up in this space, because it's only with you guys as well, allowing me to be, just accept me from being me, showing up as me, and just allowing this space for me to occupy, for us all to occupy and just share, because I think sometimes when I share certain things, because some things what I said today, I haven't really said out in public. So it helps me to just see it a bit clearer and get it out there. And just thank you all for listening and giving me back the love which I'm feeling that I'm trying to give you guys. And yeah, it's just thank you. That's all I can say. Thank you.
You have a lot of clapping here.
Oh, big clap. Thank you guys. No, thank you.
So, where can people find you? And so I'm Beyond Truth and Beyond Recovery, because this is going to go on YouTube, and we hope that we always say these are free resources. These videos, you can share them with anybody you want. You can take them everywhere you want. So if you want to talk to Derrick, or you want to get in contact, you want to send them a message, or how can they get in contact with you?
Well, they can contact us through beyondrecovery.co.uk or beyondtruth.co.uk, or you can email me at Derrick at beyond/recovery.co.uk.
Well done. We'll put all that.
All that on the thing, and we've got a YouTube, we've got TV channel, Beyond TV, which people can also watch, catch clips, and I know you've got a few bits on there as well. So we're together, Carolina. I just want to thank you guys so much, Carolina, Wayne. Just for letting me. I've had so much fun. When you messaged me and told me the date, and then we said, yeah, let's get it on, and you did a little dance, and yeah, we're gonna have fun. I just knew it was gonna be fun, and it's been just that. It's been just that. Thank you again.
This is so much fun, so much fun. So next week we're gonna have Terry Broughton, and Terry Broughton, she had a complete incredible journey on. She was a head teacher for primary school. She also did a career in art. Then she dropped that whole thing. Then she became a three principles coach. She's still doing that. She's one of the first groups that went to teach this to children into schools. So, you know, for me, I love children, but I would have found that a bit terrifying. You know, she just managed, and she went there, and we were also doing a training together when she started doing that. It was very beautiful to see what she learned from the children, and on all that, she'll tell her story. Then at some point she would, I just want to paint. And she went back to university, did another degree on art, and she's an amazing artist. So she's now had her art being put in galleries, you know, and she's doing so brilliantly well. Also, you know, just in case you don't know what to buy some people for Christmas, so she will probably be happy to sell some copies of her art. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if she wants that, but I'm sure we're going to be in for a great time as well. So it will be next Wednesday at the same time, same channel. Yep. So thank you so much.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you, Wayne. And
Thank you.
if you guys want to mute yourself and say bye, and thank you for being here, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, Derrick. Bye, Carolina. Bye, Wayne. Bye, Christopher. Bye,
everyone.
Bye, Wilson. Bye, Peter. Bye, Rob. Bye, Jim Bob. Good night, Heidi. Good night, Susan. Good night.
Good night, Mama Jay.
Good night.
Good night, Cupid.
Good night, Cupid.
Mama Jay.
Good night, Papa Hollows.
So don't